Hey, welcome to week 6 of Human Sexuality. This week we're going to be talking about chapters 11 and 12. Again, have been enjoying your discussion posts as well as your journal entries. Many of you are doing much better about including text information and just information from the course in your responses, so keep up the good work. I am noticing that some of you, it seems like you are getting a little rushed in your responses and rushed in your discussion posts and rushed in your journal entries. So we still have 3 more weeks or 3 more modules left of the course. So make sure that you're finishing strong. Make sure that you're including information. Make sure that you're completely answering the questions in complete sentences with support from the text, etc. So I'm starting to see a few of you kind of slacking off a little bit. So just want to encourage you to make sure you're keeping up and just make sure that you're finishing strong. So there are comments that I have put with many of your discussion posts and journal entries, not with all of them, but with most of them, or with a lot of them I have. So if there's no response, don't worry about it. It means you're doing a great job. But if there are some responses, you may want to take some of those tips into account for this week's discussion posts and journal entries. Okay, so we're going to be discussing chapters 11 and 12. Chapter 11 is focused on sexuality throughout the lifespan. We've done a little bit of this throughout the semester so far, but this is going to really focus on how that view of sexuality changes throughout from childhood to adolescence to adulthood and even into the later years and what that possibly looks like. For your discussion post this week, though, you're going to be focused more on the adolescent time period and especially sex education. Currently in the state of Texas, there is no sex education required in school. Schools can opt to have some sort of sex education, but it's not required. But most sex education courses that are offered in the state of Texas tend to be abstinence only. So basically, don't have sex. And the reality is that teens are having sex. And so, what is your view on education, sex education? Should this be in the schools? What do you do? If you're saying no, it's only the parents' responsibility. Why? How do you make sure the parents are teaching it? What do we need to do about that? Or do we need to not do anything? So, again, using support from your text as well as the video that I have posted on the discussion board, I want you to kind of think through what could that look like and what would be a good idea to have based on the textual information that you have. Then in chapter 12, we're going to talk about something a little bit more sensitive. We're going to talk about sexual problems and sexual dysfunction and what are those solutions. So I've put on there, this will be your journal entry. I've put on there some kind of ideas that people tend to have about what sex should look like. And so I just want you to read through those. You don't need to analyze them and give me your opinion on whether they're true or not, but I want you to kind of consider if those are the beliefs out there, could that be contributing to sexual dysfunction? And what does your textbook say about, what happens with sexual dysfunction? If we are going to do education, would it be helpful to have sexual problems be discussed? Because they're actually fairly common. At some point, people tend to have sexual problems at one level or another. And so, would it be helpful if that was part of the education and part of the conversation that we have about sex? So, and also I want you to also kind of go back in module 4. We talked about that open-ended module, open-ended model of sexual response when we were talking about the sexual response cycle. So, kind of see if you can incorporate would that potentially change the idea of sexual problems and sexual dysfunction. And then if you have any other sexual beliefs that aren't covered on there and you want to share those in the journal entry, feel free to do that. So anyway, as always, keep up with your Revel quizzes and readings, etc. And so let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great week. Talk to you soon. Sorry. Bye.